Peace everyone, Unmask here. Welcome back to another working live stream. I did not finish this project yesterday, so I'm going to continue on it today, and hopefully I'll be able to finish, because I need to live stream over on Patreon also today. So a whole bunch of live streaming. I'm just going to get right into this. Yesterday's stream seemed to be quite popular, so I was kind of surprised by that. Glad you guys are enjoying these working streams. I got my pencil sharpener along with a whole bunch of supplies yesterday. Pretty much right after I finished streaming, I got a huge box full of stuff. I just realized I don't have any music. Oh, hey there, Christian. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My goal is to finish this today, so hopefully I can get there. Doing the arms I find to be the hardest part of the figure. There's just something about elbows. Elbows are like the most difficult thing to get looking natural for some reason. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't seem to have as much trouble with legs. It's just elbows. Elbows might be the most difficult thing to color in, because I mean, how do you color an attractive elbow, right? Oh, hey there, Alexia. No worries, no worries. Oh, hey there, James. I'm glad you like the live streams. I imagine that today I'll probably be a bit more talkative because I didn't get my headphones to listen to music. So if you guys have any questions for me, I would appreciate them. Alexia, I got your email. Yeah, I got the reference photo. Though I have to say, your entire head is not in the picture, which doesn't make for the best. It doesn't make for the best reference photo, because I can only then draw that picture with the parts missing, which makes it much more harder to compose onto a piece of paper. So if you have, feel free to send me a couple more pictures if you want, preferably one that has more than a close-up of your face. Uh, I mean, as I had mentioned like last week when I was doing the stream, and you asked about the subscriber portraits. Like I said, I don't do them anymore, but there's always a possibility that I get a little bit of extra time and I can potentially do it, but I can't guarantee it. When I did the subscriber portraits, I was far less busy. I was still really just doing YouTube as a hobby, and I was in university at the time, so I wasn't doing like tutorials or teaching people anything really. I was just doing what I liked to do, and so I just want to make that really clear. I don't want to get your hopes up, that's all. Also, you might notice the degree in which this pencil is so beautifully sharpened. So I got the Caran d'Ache manual crank sharpener. It's so tiny. It's so tiny than what I thought it was going to be, and it sharpens these pencils beautifully. I mean, usually, pencil sharpeners, they'll work really, really well for a little bit until the blade dulls, and then it just wants to break everything. But I like the tip it gets. Well engineered. Hey there, Crystal. And Cece, good to see you, sis. Severin, yes. So I do not put any form of spray protectant on my pastel paintings once they're done. I have a video that explains what I do with my paintings when I'm finished with them, and I'm not hanging them up. But I can answer the question. Well, when working on pastel matte, it's not necessary to use fixative. The reason I don't use fixative is because it destroys the painting. Not in the sense that it doesn't also protect it, but it changes the colors. It affects the pigments and the texture of the painting. My favorite thing about pastels is that they're so velvety smooth, and once you spray them, they lose that texture. They no longer have it. GoPro, start time lapse. I must have said something that my camera didn't like and it shut off. Yes, so they lose that texture, and what is it doing? GoPro, start time lapse. Let me check it's plugged in. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so no fixative. It darkens all the colors, so you lose your highlights, and it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me. Yeah, you should be able to color this with just the Pitt pencils. I mean, I have a combination. I'm using a combination of the Pitt pencils and the Carbothello pencils. Probably about an even trade, really. But if you mix your colors properly, then you shouldn't have much issue. Oh, James, my camera is voice activated, so I can tell it what to do. makes it great when I don't have to move it or anything like that with my hand to try to start it. Not let me check the picture again. It doesn't show, it stops at the back side of your hair, and like the top part of your right shoulder. At least that's the picture that I see. And so it cuts off in a non-ideal space where I'm not left with any room for composition. So when I place, when I'm working on a portrait and I place the face on the paper, I don't use the side of the paper to control the composition of it. I want to put the face in the middle of the paper so that I have all the room that I need to make it look nice on the paper itself. So I think of it like framing. Like if you were to just print that picture out and frame it, you would be cutting off even more of the side because of the frame. Well, I need that space around it so that I can move it and have some compositional freedom. You see a face at the bottom of her hair? I mean, maybe a little bit. There's no face intentionally. Thank you, Kimberly. Once I finish this arm, I'll move on to the back, and that will be probably the most difficult. There's a lot of shadows and highlights and things to deal with on the back that make it one of the most difficult subjects. The back, I swear, is like the face of the body. You know, a lot of people struggle with like the details in the faces, lips, eyes, nose, subtle creases and things, and a person smiles and all of that. Well, the back is like the face of the body. It's it has, there's so many muscles in the back, and all the bumps and everything from the spine. It's definitely one of the most difficult sections. I think the back might be my favorite thing because it is simply so difficult to do, at least for me. I mean, I like subjects like this because I find them so challenging for myself to do. It's what I struggle with the most. Hey there, Shiny. Oh, you're welcome, Severin. I'm glad that you see progression in your work. You know, a lot of people feel like they get stagnant and they're not, getting any better. They're not sure what to do. So, it's I'm glad to hear that you're progressing. It's important to progress, and for anyone else that is working, doing creations, and you feel yourself getting stagnant. I find the best way to progress is to try to create something as simple as possible, something that you don't think would be hard, and let yourself do it the best that you can. Find something that you might be comfortable with, or you think you might be comfortable with, and try to make it the best that you can. Don't lose your patience. That's probably the most important. The most important part is to not lose your patience, because that's probably the most difficult thing about creating, and it's like the one quality of every master artist is their level of patience is just exceeding that of everyone around them when it comes to creating, and that's why they're able to do what they do, because they have the patience to not rush even the most boring, seemingly simplistic parts of their work. I mean, take this for instance. I mean, I'm not coloring in a very large area, but at the same time, I'm not rushing, because I have like almost the perfect colors that I need to just fill it in and be done. I'm still just taking my time and letting the layers build up slowly. You know, last night my wife and I we went and watched Alita: Battle Angel, and that movie was a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I would say it's worth going to see. It's a beautifully made movie. They used like the same technology that they did in Avatar to generate the CG character and have them interacting with the live action characters, and the way that they did it was just really, really good. And I look forward to the next Alita movie, because they left it on, I mean, they left it on the most obvious, like, this movie is going to continue. I won't do any spoilers or anything, don't worry, but yeah, it was really good. I mean, it was not a perfect movie, that is for sure. It was far from perfect, but the way I described it to my wife was that it was far from perfect, but it was really fun to watch. I've been anticipating seeing the movie for some time now. Now I need to get the manga and read the manga because the story is so interesting, and you could tell that there's so much more to the story that they just can't fully get into because of the density of information. Since it has a book for a book worth of references that they can't, jam pack in the movie because it would just be an insanely long movie. Hey there, Sally. I'm really glad I started doing these working streams. You guys seem to enjoy them, and I mean yesterday's working stream was like 3.5 hours or something like that, somewhere around there, and it already had over 1,000 views, which I was quite impressed by. I wasn't really expecting that. I never really have expectations for anything that I do because it prevents me from being disappointed. So if I just do what I enjoy doing without an expectation, then there's only room for happiness with the outcome. I love how sharp these pencils are. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, Sally. Yeah, the background came out really well, and as I'm putting the colors on her now, everything is just kind of coming together really nicely. I love working with pastels. Gosh, it's so fun. When I first used pastel pencils, I wasn't sure that I liked them at all, and that's kind of that shows up a little bit with that shows up a little bit in my intro to pastel course because I use pastel pencils so sparingly in that course. But the truth is, I just didn't know their full potential until somewhat recently. I mean, within the last like 6 months or so, I didn't really know the full potential of the pastel pencils. And gosh, the more I work with them and the more I do work like this, it surprises me every time. Yeah, I saw this. I saw this one person posting their work in progresses of this pastel pencil piece. They were doing the entire thing in pastel pencils, and they were working much larger than I am. So when you work larger, you have a lot more room for details. And so I knew that when they were taking pictures, because this is just something you have to be aware of. You know, when you see all these like hyper realistic paintings and drawings and stuff, you have to be aware that the picture that they're posting on the internet is a shrunk down version of what they're actually working on. And so it makes the details literally impossible to replicate because they're smaller than what they're actually drawing them. And so I knew that his pastel painting was much larger than what the picture represented. And so the details looked impossible to even consider getting. But as I've been pushing my own limits with the pencils to do things like this, because I mean this is like, it's not that big, maybe 20 centimeters by like 28ish, or yeah, somewhere around there. I'm finding that there's a great deal of detail that you can get very, very small with pastel pencils. And I'm finding that the secret is not only finding a way to get them like super extra sharp, but also using them almost like a paintbrush instead of a pencil, where you just do very, very light pencil strokes and slowly let that color build up. Because that's what I was doing in the hair. I can honestly say that of everything that I've ever colored or painted in my life, that is the greatest looking hair I've ever done. It's the most shiny, the most dynamic, and the most complex, difficult hair, with the curls and the waves and all of that. That's why it took me so long, because I was like, okay, I know that this is going to be the most difficult thing I've ever done. So I'm going to have to take my time. And I mean, it took me 4 hours. You guys didn't get to see me finish the hair, but I finished all the hard part on the live stream yesterday. So I finished the really hard part. And a lot of it just came down to, I need to get those really thin lines in there to make the hair look stringy and realistic. Try to capture as much detail as I can. And really the only way I was able to do that was to just go very, very slowly, very, very light with my pencil. I should redo the tutorials if you have time. Which tutorials? I was never... Wow, Mara, you have a great memory. No, I was never contacted to do the dog portrait from the dog show. Yeah. And for those of you that most likely have no idea what Mara is talking about, last year, actually no, it was 2 years ago, kind of. It was a year and a half ago. It was 2017, goodness gracious. September, my wife's boss, he's big into dog shows, and he has like a dog salon or something like that. I don't know what the heck you call it, but he also owns the big, I don't even have to call it, like it's this 4-sided big screen that you see at like basketball games that show videos on in the middle of the court but really high up. He owns the one that's in the Spodek, which is the big arena here in Katowice, and he invited us to the International Dog Show that he was kind of co-hosting, in the sense that he did a lot of the setting up and organizing, and he commissioned me to draw the dog of the lady that actually runs the International Dog Show. It was a terrible portrait. I didn't really want to do it, and I don't like drawing animals very much, and so I wasn't entirely pleased with the outcome. But I'm getting off topic. Anyways, so I made a certificate for the winner of the dog show, that they would get a free commission for me to draw the winning dog. And the girl that had the winning dog, she never bothered contacting me to get the portrait done, which I'm happy about. I'm glad she didn't. I mean, it was a pretty dog and everything. I would have been fine doing it. Just I don't do a lot of dog portraits because I'm not a huge fan of it. I like dogs. I love dogs, but not a huge fan of drawing animals. I find them to be very repetitive, very, very repetitive, and not nearly as challenging for me as doing figures and portraits. Figures and portraits are my all-time favorite, because to this day, they're just hard for me to do. Hey there, Rick. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you like it. Does working with a live stream going to change how you feel while working, or change your approach? Sometimes it does. That's a good question. Sometimes when I am live streaming, it does affect like the outcome of what I'm working on, because I tend to, gosh darn it, GoPro, start time lapse. Now quit doing that. Yes, so sometimes it does affect, but mostly it's only when I do tutorial live streams, because I end up rushing. I always say you should never rush, because it only leads to mistakes, and why rush something that you enjoy? So it's all those live stream tutorials that I've done that it affects my work, because it's not necessarily that I'm rushing, but what ends up happening is I don't correct the subtleties that if I did correct would make the piece look far more realistic. Like, for instance, I mean, I've been working, actually I don't know when I started live streaming, let's just say 40 minutes, just to do this arm. Whereas on a live stream where I'm trying to teach you to do what I'm doing right now, I would most likely have colored in this entire section with this color and kind of just broken it up and just threw everything together rather quickly and tell you what colors I'm using, explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. But I wouldn't correct it and finesse it the way that I am right now. Simply for the sake of getting it done. Because with the live tutorials, I have always kind of felt like my goal is an hour. Like, I want to get whatever it is I'm doing done in an hour. Because I think it makes it more viewable for a majority of people that want to learn. But the whole point of these working live streams is that I'm not teaching you. You guys get to just see how I work in real time. And I just happen to be making a time lapse in the progress. I mean, I'm talking a lot more than I usually would for the working stream, but that's just because I forgot my headphones and I'm enjoying the conversation with you guys. But I'm still going really, really slow with no regards of how interesting you find it. Because I want it to be perfect, so I'm taking all the time that I need to get it to look exactly the way I want it. Oh, hey there, Gary. And Perry, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy the streams. I love the streams too. I love streaming because I get to just meet people all over the world, and it's fun. It's fun hanging out and just chatting about all kinds of stuff. The streams are much more enjoyable for me to do than to make videos off camera. GoPro start time lapse. I don't know why it keeps quitting. It's getting on my nerves. Yeah, as I was saying, it's just more enjoyable. Because otherwise, for this project here, I would just be GoPro start time lapse. Wow, that did not work. GoPro exploded. That did not sound good either. Now my camera won't turn on. This is a brand new camera. This is the third time that I've used it. Okay, there we go. I'll keep it unplugged for a bit. GoPro, go to time-lapse mode. Huh. That's very weird. Super weird. The door was person upstairs. Hello, Hannah. Alright, I think I'm ready to start on the really hard part, which is the back. It's stressful. I gotta kind of analyze, see how I'm going to approach this. I usually like to block in the shadows. That's usually my go-to plan. So I think, let's see. Have this color. Yeah, that's about where I want to be in terms of darkness. Oh goodness, that is so lovely. Look at that. Look at that tip. That is sharp enough to draw blood. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that the GoPro was picking up on parts of my speech that was making it do stuff. Hello, Riz, Oyas, Cheese Man, good to see you. Alright, so that's first color. This is going to be second color. And third color will be this. That will be the shadows. So I think I'll put the shadows in. I'll need just a touch of black. Just a touch. Very, very small amount of black. GoPro, start time lapse. Alright. Now, let's try to do this and not mess things up. The pencil sharpener that I'm using is the Caran d'Ache hand crank sharpener. I mean, I have a really good electric sharpener also that I would also be using, but it's loud. And the Caran d'Ache pencil sharpener, I just got it yesterday, and so I was just kind of testing it out, and it works wonderfully. So I'll use it on stream because it's much quieter than my electric sharpener, which in comparison to my voice, the electric sharpener is extremely loud. So Just know I'm doing it for you guys. There's so many things going on right in this section that it scares me to even do anything. And the funny thing is, like, even though I'm like confident in my colors and my ability, and I also know that the layer of color that I'm putting down is not the last color I'll be able to put down. It's still like, it's really difficult. Hey there, pumpkin spice. You know, those of you that are watching right now, I don't really promote these live streams. I mean, I just go live whenever I want. So if you would like to help me out, you can give the live stream a share, and maybe we can get some more family members in here. So perhaps one of you I know are in the Unmask family. If one of you could maybe just jump over to Facebook and share this live stream in the Facebook group, we might get a few more family members here to hang out with. I don't want everybody to do it, so don't just go do it. Maybe one person in the chat say, I will go do it, so everyone knows that one person is going to go do it. Just let them know that I'm live. If you have Twitter, maybe tweet it out. That's so nerve-wracking. Alright, switch browns. Actually, I kind of want this color just for a second. Oh yeah, I held the sharpener up. Looks like this. It's so much smaller than what it looks like online, but so far it works really well. Yeah, to join the Unmask family, just click on the link in the video description. And then one of the moderators will accept your request because it's a closed group. Almost to 1,000 family members in the group too. Getting up there. Oh, you're welcome, Sally. In fact, if you put in your request already, I can jump over there and yeah, let me know when you put your request in to join the family, and I'll accept it. Can I ask you guys a question? What do you enjoy most about my live streams? I'm just curious because I want to offer more of what you enjoy about it. So just curious. Oh goodness. These shadows here. These are the difficult things. Let's see, kind of goes up right above right here. Relaxing to watch and you learn. Okay, well, I'll try to keep being relaxing and informative. That'll be my goal. I am so close. Actually, I need to check in because I could have surpassed it last night and I'm not aware of it. Um, I'm so incredibly close to reaching my next goal on Patreon. Oh yeah, super close. $9 away. So hopefully I will reach that soon. Because I want to buy a new microphone. I'm gonna buy a new microphone and a new camera so that you guys can hear me even better, more clearly, and see my artwork more clearly. Because that camera there that you guys see the work on is just a junk camera that I had to buy really quickly because otherwise I couldn't live stream. So it was either buy the camera I could afford at the time so that I could live stream or not live stream. And so you see what I went with. Yeah, I love hanging out with all the artists as well, CC. You know, that was always kind of like the beginning objective of my channel, is to bring artists together, creative people together, and just get to know one another. And that's why I really like the live streams. I mean, that's my personal reason why I like to be the one live streaming, because I've met so many great people over the years, and many of you come to my live streams, and I feel like we're genuinely friends because I see you more than anybody else. See you more than my wife, because she's working 5 days a week. Alright, touch of black. Oh, goodness, this is... no pressure, easy to follow during live streams, and then I can go back, watch. Yeah. That's another reason I like doing the tutorials as live streams, because even though it is a little stressful for me, because I have to perform and create something within a somewhat reasonable amount of time, which leaves little room for error, even though I make plenty of them. Still, I do my best to try to hide them. It saves me from having to edit, which is great. Now, I really like editing and making well-polished videos, but when it comes to the tutorials, those ones are not my favorite to edit. Because I have to sit there and listen to myself talk for like 4 hours straight. And I wish I could find somebody that I could trust to do my edits. For the longest time, I've wanted to teach my wife how to do it, but she's way too busy with her job for me to expect her to edit video. only seen a couple streams now. I'm glad you like watching them, Mithril. Oh, hello, Gracie. Thank you. Yeah, so I really do enjoy working with the Carbothello pencils. They are fantastic for getting into working with pastel pencils because they're still affordable. For the full set, it's about $1 per pencil, which you really can't ask for much better than that. They're a good quality. They're a good quality pencil for even a better price. So you get a lot out of them, and they're soft, so you can work with them very delicately. Most of what I've done here is with Carbothellos. I have the full set of the Caran d'Ache pencils, and those ones are also amazing. But I did not have a sharpener that they fit in. I just got a sharpener yesterday, so I haven't even gotten a chance. To really try the Caran d'Ache pastel pencils, but I do know that they feel amazing, and I look forward to working with them. I started this project with these pencils, so I'm going to finish this project with these pencils because I have these colors already. Maybe I will do some touch-ups on this project with some of the Caran d'Ache pencils if there's like a color that I just know will benefit the picture. But I'm not going to just add them in for the sake of using them. No need to make it more complicated than it already is. I have my collection of colors here that I can work around quite comfortably with what I need for this project, so. If you're going to get a larger set, like if you have the money and you don't have a problem with spending it on the full set of the Caran d'Ache pencils, then my philosophy is just ball out and get the Caran d'Ache set. But if you're, if you're just kind of beginning, if you're just starting, I don't find there's much purpose in doing that. And in that case, I would always just recommend the full set of the Carbothellos because they're affordable and you can do anything with them. There's enough colors to do anything that you want. Yeah, the one key difference between the Caran d'Ache and the Carbothellos is that The carbothellos will fit in any standard pencil sharpener. The Caran d'Ache pencils are super fat, and so I struggled getting them sharpened in the beginning. And then my pencil sharpener broke the other day, and I tried to do it on stream yesterday, but it was completely gone. It was just falling apart, and I couldn't take it anymore. So got rid of it, and fortunately yesterday my new pencil sharpener came in, so that was nice. Good timing, because I certainly needed a pencil sharpener. Oh, thank you, Gracie. I appreciate that. It's always it's always nice to hear when people tell me that they share my channel and stuff with the people that they know. I've had a few people tell me like, oh goodness, every time I'm talking to somebody, I'm always bringing up your channel and your art and stuff like that, and it's just so inspiring that to know that people around the world are talking about me. I have to admit it's kind of cool feeling. Maybe if I got out more, I'd run into more people that know me for my channel, because it's only happened once. Ironically, it happened while I was making a video, so I even have the first time anybody's recognized me in public on video, because I was making a video at the time. Even recognized my wife, which was just great. The video that I'm referring to is, it's been a little while now, but it was my wife and I, we went on a little vacation up to Gdańsk, which is the northern part of Poland, along the sea, and we were just walking through a random park, and lady came up to us and she's like, well, Anna. She just knew our names, and we looked at each other like, who is this lady? And I assumed that it was somebody my wife knew because, well, she was Polish. Haven't had another interaction like that, but that one will always be remembered because it was just one of the coolest feelings in the world. Nothing makes you feel more famous than that. Though I'm far from famous. Let me just say that. Oh, Southern California, huh? I've been to Southern California. Spent some time in San Diego. From Scotland. Oh, that's cool. I've always wanted to go to Scotland. I always see really nice pictures of like the farming landscapes and just it's just one of those places that I've heard a lot about and seen in movies, and one of the many destinations I've always wanted to explore and check out. Scotland and Ireland and I've been to the UK, but not Scotland. Yeah, Seattle. I don't miss the rain there. I do not miss the rain there. I don't miss the smell. Oh gosh. I don't know if anybody in the chat has been to Seattle, but goodness gracious. That city stinks so gosh darn bad. If you go like way back on my channel, before I started live streaming, I did the drawing journals as recorded videos, and what I would do is I just set my cameras up, sketch about, and just talk about random stuff. But you go through enough of those old drawing journals, you'll find me complaining about the stink when I was living in Seattle at the time. Yeah, I definitely don't miss the stink. I don't miss the big city either. The traffic, the people, ugh, gosh, it's just not for me. I love where I live at in Poland because it takes about 25 minutes on the bus to get to the city center. And I mean, on the busy days, weekends, holidays and stuff like that, I don't want to go to the city center. There's just too many people and I don't like it. But like my wife and I, we went yesterday for date night, and you know, there's people out and about, plenty of people. Katowice is a big city. But not enough to like irritate me. You know, there's not enough people. As soon as there is enough people to the point that every time you go up and down stairs, you're always behind somebody on their phone texting, then it's too many people. As soon as you get to that point, there's too many people. And I could never, when I was going to University of Washington, I could never just go from one class to another without having to be stuck behind some clown on the stairs on their phone. Gosh, it just drives me absolutely crazy. I just want to like kick them down the stairs. Oh gosh, and then yesterday, like I said, I went to my wife and I went and watched Alita, and I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I love the previews. Okay, like I look forward to the movie, but before I'm looking forward to the movie, I'm looking forward to the previews, and like I get excited for the previews to come on, because I like to see what's coming out or whatnot. And this guy sitting right next to me, he had his phone out the entire time, and it was so irritating. Oh, I just wanted to smack it out of his hands. Just wanted to smack it out of his hands. He didn't turn it off until the movie had actually started, but it was just, it's just so annoying and inconsiderate. I'm going to accept your request, Sally. All right, you're officially in the Unmask family. You know what? I'm going to do a little bit of blending. Let's start with the light stuff, I guess. This, I don't even know why I'm saying it, but the reason I'm blending this is so that the pencil stops moving around so much when I work over top of it. Especially these transitionary shadows right here, because I'm getting some of those dark colors in my much lighter colors, which are smeary, and I don't want that, so I need to just kind of press them into the paper a tiny bit so that they don't move so much. Let's add a touch of this color. You know, I still have the Patreon live stream that I need to do in about 5 hours, a little less than 5 hours, so I sure hope I can finish this in time. I'm not even prepped for it. I knew it was going to be an issue as soon as I woke up this morning. I was like, I know that I have the Patreon stream, but I am so enjoying this project that they are just going to have to wait. And I realize that they might be some of you in the chat right now. All right, I gotta try to do her other thigh. Let's go with, it's so reddish brown. Yeah, just try with this. Oops. You've been watching Patreon stream? Oh, okay, Bumpkins. Oh, you will be. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you're prepared. You're much more prepared than I am. I know, like, I keep doing this. I keep asking you, pumpkin spice, but it's Leslie, isn't it? I always get, I don't know, there's something about your picture, your avatar picture, that I keep getting you and one other person mixed up. I want to say I want to say it's Heidi, Lady Marigold. Or wait, is Lady Marigold Heidi or yeah? I keep getting you guys mixed up. And yeah, okay, good. I'm right. It's Leslie. And I'm always afraid that I'm going to refer to one of you as the wrong name. It is so hard for me to remember names, but I've gotten so good at it. I mean, considering how many people I know on my live streams, like I recognize the people that come, and I almost never miss when it's somebody's first time. That I see in the chat. But yeah, I mean, when I see you over and over and over again, of course, and also when you're on Patreon, and I learn your name, like, it makes me feel like a teacher in school, you know, trying to learn their students' names. Gosh, but I'm glad I don't have to do that. I would be so bad. I would literally just call all my students, hey you. Hey you, knock that off. Hey you, what's the answer to question 5? I don't know if this is the right color. Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of orangey. It's a dull brown. Let's just go with this. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Samantha. I didn't see your comment about my work, but I'm glad you like it. I still need to do that part of the back. There's this highlight where the white cloth, because the cloth is white, is reflecting up onto her skin right here. Oh gosh, that's going to be so hard to get. Stuff like that always is so difficult. It's like right here. Gotta stay hydrated. I have a headache. I've had a headache for some time now. Since, I don't know, somewhere around 2000 last night. Pretty much had a headache since then. Oh, you gotta go to sleep, Gracie? Alright. Well, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. Sleep well. Have a great night. See you next time. Yeah, I did not eat much yesterday. Um, Not until like around 1. So I mean like 6 hours after I had woken up. And then I ate one more time when I went out with my wife. But I didn't drink a lot of water yesterday either. I tried to drink some after we had gotten home, but I don't think that overall I don't think that I had drank enough water. Usually something relaxing like this project I can lose myself in. Usually it's a quick cure to my headaches, because I get headaches a lot. But I always have ever since I was a kid. But it's not really working for me today. Just gotta stay focused though. Eventually it will go away. Oh, that's quite alright, Sally. No need to apologize. say what paper I'm using? Oh, this I always use Clairefontaine pastel mat when I use pastels. I don't use anything other than that. Yeah, it's the exclusive paper that I use. I would probably have used, or at least tried using, sandpaper, like UArt paper, more often also, but it's not as easy for me to get as the pastel mat is. So not only is pastel mat perhaps the best paper for pastels, it's just easier for me to get. And for that reason, I use it exclusively. You know, what's funny is, so aside from streaming yesterday, I also had a video that I had completely forgot about. And when I got home from the movies, I was like, oh yeah, I had a video that I scheduled out to go live, and it was just a little tutorial on coloring flowers with pastels. But it had completely slipped my mind. I had totally forgot about it. So yeah, if you missed that video, it's there. It's there on my channel somewhere. Okay, Leslie. Well, you take care. Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. Poland has really strict import laws because they prefer their people buy from their own, and so a lot of the things that get imported into Poland have value-added tax added to it on top of shipping, and a lot of things that that you get shipped here from outside the country, if it's like electronic or I think maybe books, I'm not sure exactly, but you'll have to pay an extra import tax thingy if it's over the value of 100 złota, which is about $20. It just incentivizes people to buy things made in Poland. And so a lot of companies and just people that sell stuff, they just flat out don't ship to Poland for that reason. So yeah, because there's Amazon UK that I can order some things from, but most of the things just flat out don't ship to Poland. And so Amazon UK is almost completely unusable for me. Amazon Deutschland is the next best, but the selection is very low, unfortunately. So there's a lot of limitations that I have to deal with living in Poland, but I still really enjoy living here. But it's one of the things that I do miss about the United States. You could just order anything from Poland, or from Amazon, and get it the next day. That's like the one thing I miss. Goodness, somebody needs to oil that door upstairs. I don't know if you guys can hear my neighbor upstairs just opening his door or whatever, but goodness gracious, it's loud as can be. And just to kind of express how loud it is, if you do in fact hear it, all of my walls are like a full 30 centimeter thick concrete. So the fact that the sound is getting through my walls is, well, significant to say the least. Missing kind of like an orangey color. Almost orangey. What was I using? I feel like I need to add just one more toning color to my selection here. Maybe this is what I was using. Let me just give it a quick sharpen. Oh yeah, you watched the video of me moving to Poland? Yeah. You know, the only thing more difficult about that experience, getting arrested in Germany and all of that, was editing that video. I can't even call it a video. It's a full-blown movie. It's like an hour and 10 minutes or something. I don't even know how long it is, but I spent like 3 months editing that. Oh yeah, this is the color. This is what I was missing. That's just making the skin come to life. I need to add some of that on the arm over here. This is a magic orange. Yeah, that looks much better. Oh yeah, this is a good color here. Add some to this shadow now. It's funny because the end of it looks pink. This actually looks like brown, but it colors like, I don't even know how to describe it, like a pink brown. It's a very interesting color. Now I need a magic purple. I need a ninja purple. That's what I need. I think I used that before. Wonder how purpley this purple is. I need something kind of light but bright. Nah, that's too purple. Too much blue in that purple. Why did I put it there? Whatever. I think I'll try that. I think I've used this one in portraits before. Alright, that should be the purple I'm looking for. Funny thing is, you only need like just touch it, like the most bare minimum. Let's go here. I need to get that line separating the arm and the back cleaner. I mean, it's almost the same color. The back of the arm, where it meets the back, which just makes it 10 times harder. One thing about working with pastel pencils to do projects like this is that it's all about like barely touching the paper. So heavy-handed people, good luck. That's all I gotta say. Good luck. Because I touched this paper with such delicacy to get these smooth gradients and color transitions and texture, that if you are heavy-handed, I just don't see how it's possible. I just don't see how it would be possible. Even blending to keep the colors where I place them, I just I touch it with the least amount of pressure that I can physically do. finish the upper part of the back. That shadow is driving me nuts. These transitions look good. I'm satisfied here. This cast shadow from the cloth on her leg is like perfect. All right, let's add some more color to her back. Let's get a little bit more red in there. Good night, Cece. Love ya. Sleep well. Don't work too hard the next day. Yeah, could you imagine, like, if the technology we have now existed back in the day of the old masters? Could you imagine, like, a Leonardo da Vinci live stream? That would be so rad. Just to see the way that they truly did it. I mean, their work has been analyzed beyond anything else in the world, and the techniques that they used, I mean, they wrote down and they did teach what they did, so it's not a huge mystery as to how they accomplished what they created. But I mean, it would still nonetheless be just amazing to have experienced something like that. But I suppose that if the technology that we have now existed in their time, then perhaps their work wouldn't be what it is. You know what I've been thinking a lot about lately is why we are drawn to creation as artists, because I don't know what it is that compels me to do this. I've always I've always kind of just been compelled to, as I put it, rubbing stuff on things. Because in the most literal sense, that's what I do. I rub stuff on things. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it. The process, the desire, the willingness to go on even in the face of like endless struggle. And the more I search for like the reason, the more I discover that one doesn't exist, and that I just do it and I don't really know why. But I suppose it's not much different than if you break down other activities in their most kind of primitive description. Like, look at basketball, you know. People dedicate their whole lives to literally bouncing a piece of rubber filled with air, and then in the most magnificent ways possible putting it into a metal ring 10 feet off of the floor. You know, what other than culture drives them to do that? But I'm not sure. Now that I say it out loud, you know, it is truly just culture that drives them to do that, because I don't think that it would be something. I don't think it would be something that people dedicate their lives to if it was not a way to literally become famous and rich. But the fact that it became a way to become famous and rich, you know, perhaps it's not completely grounded in culture, because it's played all over the world, played in the Olympics. I mean, what is it? That's usually the question that I am constantly asking myself. Like, why do I do this? I have no idea. I have no idea, and I try to explore. I try to explore that question as much as I can. Oh yeah, that back shadow looks fantastic. I am pleased. That's a little bit too red. Now I need like a yellowish brown. It's more of like a yellowish brown. Let's see, do I have a yellowish brown? This is kind of yellowish. Oh, that's really yellowish. Let's see if this works. That's pretty close. That might be. Let's try a few others. I like this one. That one's too dark. Let's try this one. Wow, that one is super dark. No, that looks too light. Is it too light? That's far too yellow. Oh, did I find it? I think I found it. Yeah, let's just go with this one. I think it's a safe bet. Oh yeah, I like to put things on the wall. Really, it's just that I have such little space. I mean, I have a whole bunch of pastel stuff over here that's not supposed to be on the wall, but it's just so hard to put it away. It's so perfect. Oh, it's so lovely. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I need to take off the wall. But yeah, I'm in the corner of my bedroom. That's what I got for a studio. It's very cramped. I don't like it. And my wife and I we're looking for a house, but we've had very, very little luck so far. And we've been talking about moving to the United States. I've spent a lot of my life away from my family. Literally 2 weeks after I graduated from high school, I was in the military, and I moved just about as far away from them as I could. Not on purpose. I didn't get to choose my orders. Because I'm originally from Ohio, for those of you that don't know. And I essentially, you grow up and then you actually grow up. And when you go from 18, I'd say like 18 to 25, maybe 24, that's the real time that you actually grow up. You're not grown up at 18 at all. And the changes in your personality from 18 to 25, 26 are probably the most significant. And I spent that entire time living very far away from my family and only visiting less than once a year. So not a lot. And so essentially I feel that I grew up and my family never got to see who I became. I graduated college I'm the only person in my family to ever graduate from college. I'm the only one that has a bachelor's degree. And, I mean, you know, emotional changes, all of that, you know, spiritual, political, all of those things, my family knows nothing about me. And it's always been a difficult thing to accept that I grew up without them. And not only did I grow up, I mean, they grew up too. And it's like we don't really know each other for who we really are because of that time, all of that time that I've spent without them. And then, of course, I go from living in Washington to living in Poland, which quite literally, I almost couldn't be farther away from them. So I've talked to my wife a bit about potentially moving back to the States just so we can find a house, because it's so difficult to find a house here in Poland. And even finding a house here in Poland, neither one of us are really sure on the process of owning property in this country. Because it's not the same. It's different everywhere, you know, in every different country, you know, their rules and stuff are different, but so there is a possibility that we end up moving back to the States. I'm kind of sort of the youngest. It's a weird story, but when I was living in Washington, I had found out that I had a brother, and he's actually the youngest. But I grew up thinking I was the youngest. I went to college thinking I was the youngest. I graduated college thinking I was the youngest. So, yeah, I'm not technically the youngest, but I was for a long time. I'm the youngest, but the oldest. They always would say, even when I was 13, 14, whatnot, that I always acted so much further beyond my age. So it's hard to put into words, but yeah, I'm not technically the youngest. My brother Ryan is. Alright, time to GoPro stop. I need to take some video with my fancy camera. Focus. You know, nothing like pastels to, I don't know if it picks up on the camera, but I spit a lot when I talk. And pastels are the proof of that. Yeah, I have little teeny tiny droplets all over the place. They'll dry, so I'm not concerned. Oh, hey there, Chrissy. Good to see you. Always good to have you in the chat. I noticed from your live stream yesterday, you had a few new people that came over from the working stream. That's cool. I look forward to your stream on Sunday, although I hope that you start sooner than your midnight streams. Oops, wrong button. Which color? This takes some practice, I'll tell you that. Getting a nice smooth camera movement while pretending to color at the same time. Sorry, I can't tell if I'm out of camera or not. Yeah, now you guys know my secret. Most of the time, when I do my fancy time lapses and I take this B-roll footage, I'm actually not doing anything. I'm just pretending because I know I have to stop the camera in like 2 seconds. And what I do is usually I just take 3 shots. Take like a moving, panning shot, close up, slightly distance, just kind of like move it around. And then when I edit it, I just put those clips together, and it makes it look like I'm progressing something. And then I go back to the time lapse and start a new section. So the base layers, I'll just call it the base layers of the arms and chest and back, they're done. So now I can move on to the leg, and I will just cover that up and do the knee first. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, Chrissy. Yeah, that'd be cool. GoPro start time lapse. What have you described your fantasy painting, Chrissy, to anyone? Are you keeping it a secret, or can you divulge some of your details? I'm curious of what it looks like. This project here, actually, GoPro start time lapse. Now the camera's gonna start acting up for no reason. I actually have a fantasy piece that I'm working on. I started it a couple days ago, and it's my largest pastel project so far to date. I'll be sharing it on the drawing journal on Monday. That's what I'll be working on. Oh, thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, I've gotten some good progress today. The paper, the paper that I always use with pastels is Clairefontaine pastel mat. I don't use any other paper. And then, no, I do not combine pastels with colored pencils. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people use like soft pastels for backgrounds, and then they do their main subjects in colored pencils. I, however, do not, because I prefer a unifying texture in my work, and I do not like the look of the waxy, oily look of colored pencils next to my velvety, smooth, beautiful pastels. It's just kind of like a thing that I don't like. There's really no other way to describe it. I'm not huge on mixing mediums unless it's marker and colored pencil. Those actually work together perfectly. But great question. Yeah. You can certainly work colored pencils on top of pastels, but yeah, like I said, it's just not for me. This seems greedy, but I'm going to sharpen this pencil, even though it's like still very sharp. Alrighty, now let's slide down to the rest of the leg here. It's much darker than the knee. So the darkest color is kind of this. I mean the lightest color. You have talked about it a few times. So is it going to be the back of the card that you're working on now? Is that what the piece will be? Well, I have a set of pan pastels, and I get asked a lot. I get asked so many times about the pan pastels, and it's not that I don't like them. It's that I don't have much desire to use them because I like the control I get from the regular soft pastels. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I have a set of them, but I just don't use them very much. Oh goodness, the bottom of a foot. Talk about difficulty. Pan pastels are great. I've done one tutorial that uses pan pastels. It was a really long time ago, and I haven't used them since for anything. I should just bust them out and do something with them. Because I get asked about them so many times. I might as well. I might as well just use them. But I mean, like, pan pastels probably would have been pretty good in the background of this, but then that's it. It's like I wouldn't be able to use it for anything else. What are you gonna do for the back of the cards, Chrissy? Are you gonna do like a traditional card back where it's just a geometric design, or are you going to do something unique that like brings all the cards together in a single painting? There's so many wrinkles on the bottom of the foot. Oh gosh, it's a nightmare. Oh really, Sally? Oh, that's kind of funny. That video's an old one. Maybe I should do more pan pastel videos simply to draw in the audience of those that are searching pan pastels. That could be a potential growth factor. I guess I'm just a bit more involved with the pastel pencils, that I don't think much of the, I think even less of the pan pastels, because I like the pencils so much. I love the control that I have with them. I love the detail that I can capture with them. I just hate sharpening them. It's pretty much the only downside to the pencils. Sharpening them is always annoying. Even when you have a good sharpener that works, it still just doesn't make it any better. Hello, Annie. Oh yeah, I've heard of bokeh, or however you say the name, bokeh. I've heard of that YouTuber. Uh, they're they're just tagging you, Sally, so they can highlight your name. I don't think you can tag somebody with half their name. Hello there, Emer. Emer. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but welcome. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Oh goodness, I just realized that after this, I only have one more section of the leg to do. And then I can remove the masking film from the last and perhaps the easiest part of this project. Well, actually, no, the background was definitely the easiest, which I'm going to have to probably mildly correct since I've been spitting on it for the past 2 days. I don't know if I doubt that you guys can see it on the camera, but I can see it and it is hilarious. I might need to do just a tiny bit of blending to cover it up, but it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh because there is none of my artwork exists without also my DNA on it. Since I create nearly everything I do on a live stream, and I'm always talking. Good morning, Mimi. I should really probably blend this out. Where the light in this photograph is coming from? Is that what you're talking about, Gary? For this photograph, there's two lights, and even potentially 3. And what gives it away is this arm right here. See, there will be a floodlight from the left, and that will be your dominant light source. That's what's causing this cast shadow here, what's causing the deep shadow on her back. The cast shadow from her leg gives it away that the light is coming from the left here. But then there's also what's called a rim light, and that light will be from the right, and it will most likely be slightly behind the subject. And in this case, what gives that away, this rim light on her right arm, you can see the light is coming from the right. Same thing here. Having two light sources on a subject, especially such a figure, the arm, you see how the darkest shadow is slightly in the middle of her arm? That's because there is a light on the left side and a light on the right side. And so the only part of her arm that is getting the least amount of light is the part of the arm that is facing 90 degrees from both light sources. So that is how you can interpret what the photographer for this particular picture, how he had his lighting set up. Oh, you're welcome, Gary. Great question. I just realized that that camera cuts off right here. I can't move it, so when I get down to this other foot, you're just gonna have to live without being able to see what I'm doing. Can't move it, but I still have a long way to go with this leg. So you're safe for now. Let's go a little bit more purpley, shall we? A little bit more purple. appreciate your guys' questions. So if you have any more, don't hesitate to ask. Thinking about getting a GoPro amongst all the tech things I want not to purchase. Well, here's the thing. Let me help you make the decision, okay? If you are live streaming, like I am now. Oh no, did that camera move? Am I still in screen? There. It fell a little bit. I feel like it fell a little bit. Anyways, like I am, obviously my secondary camera that you guys get to see, my GoPro is very close. Okay, so the GoPro has to be very close. Right now, it's only about 28 centimeters away from my table. Okay, so that's the first thing. But I like it close. I don't know if that will bother you, but I like it close because then I never have to worry about my face. I can just get in here as much as I want, and it's not an issue. The other thing is that you need to know how to edit the video or the material that you collect, the data, whether it's a video or in my case I have a time-lapse setting, so I'm not taking any video. And the lens is a fisheye lens. It's super distorted, okay? So if you don't know how to deal with that, just know that you're gonna have to learn. And there's no easy way that I have found to deal with it and it look good. The way that I deal with it is in Final Cut Pro. And I do use a free plugin, but Final Cut Pro is not free. So that's something that you have to understand about this camera. The other thing is that if you do use it for time-lapse, the amount of memory that you use, I'll probably end up using around 80 gigabytes, I'm guessing, for this project. That's not even including the 30 gigabytes that I'll have on my other camera. So probably around 100 gigabytes worth of footage. So your computer has to be able to handle that. You always have to have the camera plugged in to power, which usually isn't an issue. Just trying to give you as much thorough information as I can, because I love it. I love using it for what I use it for, because it takes just amazing footage. it just looks so good. I mean, it's a big jump. The other GoPro that I had, and I still have it, is the Hero 3. I went from the Hero 3 to the Hero 7, so there's a big jump there, and the quality is significantly better. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad I got it. I was really happy. Why a fisheye lens? You can't change the lens of a GoPro. You can't replace the lens. So that's one other thing. They all have fisheye lenses. It's an action camera. But that is what allows you to get really close to your project. Right now, the pictures that I'm taking, even though my camera is 28 centimeters away from my table, the camera sees my entire table. I don't know if I can put this into perspective, but I mean, it essentially, okay, so it's 28 centimeters from my table, and it's seeing like 34 centimeters on either side of the camera, and that's like my entire table. I don't get any closer with it because when I edit it and I remove the fisheye effect, I remove the lens distortion with my plugin, it has to shrink the photo a little bit for that to work. And so I shoot slightly farther away so that I have wiggle room in editing. And what else? I'm trying to think of anything else that would be important to let you know about. Because, I mean, I think the most important thing to understand is that it is not going to be, oh, I'm just going to charge the camera or plug it in, hit record, and then that's going to be my video. There is post-production that is required. You can't not get rid of the distortion, because it's not designed to do this, but it does a really, really good job if you know how to remove the distortion later on. The way that I edit, because right now my camera is not taking video, it's just taking a bunch of pictures. And so what I do when I'm done is I take all those pictures, I bring them into Final Cut Pro as pictures, and then I put it on my timeline where I edit, and I select all of them and I change their duration to a single frame. So it changes those pictures into single frames, in which I just then save as a video. So that's how I do it. Yeah, no problem, Chrissy. If you have, I mean, I've been working with a GoPro doing time lapses for 6 years. So I'm pretty well versed in the process of the best way to do it, and to get the best results. So if you ever have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask me. I mean, when it comes to taking insanely long videos just for the sake of speeding them up for a time lapse to upload to YouTube, there's just not a better option. Because I have a 128 gigabyte memory card in this camera, in my GoPro, and I can shoot a time lapse all day long. But you try to do that with any other camera where your only option is to record video. If you try recording, you're gonna run out of memory so fast. You're not even gonna be done. I would have ran out of memory just doing the background. So, in this case, for this project, I haven't taken the memory card out, and I probably still have like 1 million photos that I can take. So, all right, that foot/leg is good. Now to move on to the next one. This one does not look easy. A whole bunch of colors going on here. Let's see, lightest color. Maybe I'll just do the foot first. Gosh, it's so dark. It's super extra dark. Let's go with this, I guess. Maybe I should start with black. I'm gonna do this bottom foot first, simply because I know you guys can't see it. So I'll try to finish it quickly. It's so weird to me how dark it is. Or it seems to be weird. Oh, good morning, Amy. I'm just going to like fill it in loosely so you guys aren't bored for too long. It's so dark though. This might actually be like the most difficult section of this project, because working in dark colors is probably what people most struggle with, and I'm among those people. Working with dark colors is not easy. I'll just play it safe and kind of do the basic layout of the foot and the colors, and then I'll be able to move up to the rest of the leg and not have to worry about it as much. If I can just make it look halfway decent on camera, then it won't matter. And then I'll just go back and touch it up and make it look correct or perfect. Oh, hello, Anish. Blend this out. Oh, yeah, you literally can't see any of it, can you? Yeah. I'm almost done. There. I can always go back to it. In which case I will for sure go back to it. Let's jump back up to the leg. Oh, goodness. Almost done with the hard part here. Let's see here. Let's get this color, which, let's go here. That's the dark color. Yeah, let's just start this. I don't think I've ever done the back of a knee. In this, it reminds me a lot of the elbow. And the weird kind of shapes that the colors happen. Yeah, that does not make it easy. That makes it perhaps the hardest. Gosh darn, elbows and the back of the knee, they are my enemy. Nothing wants me to fail more than the back of the knee. Because this shadow doesn't even make sense to my brain. Alright, so it starts here. Gently curves. I gotta say, the speed in which I filled that foot in And how close I got it to the reference photo is actually pretty impressive. I feel like I did it in like 15 seconds. Yeah, I even surprised myself, to be honest with you, with how much I'm able to do with pastel pencils. Uh, it's it's very, very satisfying. The next pastel project that I'll probably end up doing will be a portrait, because I have to. I just have to like get in there and do a face. Actually, I might as well just redo that one, that the wood elf one that I realized was just a complete disaster over on the drawing journal. I should just go ahead and restart that one, because I want to see the significant difference that it makes working on the pastel mat opposed to the Mitenta paper. All right, let's see. Let's sharpen this. Add just a bit more of a finer point on it. Oh, Chrissy, I don't know if you were here when I mentioned that I got all my art supplies yesterday. I got a whole bunch of replacement pastel pencils. I got a bunch of carbothellos. I have some Prismacolors in here too. A couple luminance pencils, but a whole bunch of carbothellos. A bit of the whatever Faber-Castell ones. I got some more oil paint for the oil painting picture the painting that I've been secretly working on. Pretty much ran out of white, so I had to buy some white. Oh, hey there, Anna. Good to see you. I feel like I never get the pleasure of hanging out with you in a live stream anymore. You seem so busy taking your dogs for walks, so I never get to say hello much anymore. Your dogs are like the most adorable things on the planet Earth. You have no idea how much I love seeing your pictures on Facebook. They're just so gosh darn adorable. I want one. When Anna and I come and visit you in Finland, I'm gonna sneak one of your dogs back. Oh, I have a question. Are you okay? So you're hosting the March mashup thing. Are you live streaming your drawings? Are you doing videos of it? Because I'd love to see you make some more videos. I don't know. Maybe Facebook has been holding back on sharing your work on my wall, but I actually don't remember the last piece of art that I've seen you create. What is that? Oh, you gotta go. I can't be having weird things in my way. Get the heck out of here. I have scissors. This is gonna drive me nuts. It's like a hangnail for my... There, got it. It was just a teeny tiny little piece of plastic from my masking film. It was driving me nuts. I couldn't do it. Oh, that's so unfortunate, Anna. I'm gonna have to buy you a new computer when I'm rich and famous. Oh, okay. Well, it's nice to know that you've still been there. That's a comforting thought. I'm getting so close to finishing this leg. I'm getting exciting. It's getting exciting so that I can pull off the rest of the masking film. It's going to be So nice. Can't rush it. Can't rush it. I gotta slow down. Don't let me rush it, people. Hold me accountable to my own words. Oh man, this headache is killing me though. Well, it's it's been a long time with this Mac Mini, and I don't know how it still works. I've put it through the ringer for sure, and it still works like crazy. It's magical how well it still works. But I need to buy a new computer eventually. I'm not sure which one, but then I'll be left with this Mac Mini and it won't be doing anything. Could always send it up to you. It's never crashed. Hello, Art Hive. Good to see you. I believe this is the first time I've come across you in the live chat, so welcome. And thank you. Glad you like the way the picture is coming out. Yeah, I hear you, Mithril. I hear you. I've probably worked myself too much the past couple weeks. I'm guessing that's why I have such a headache. Probably knocked my immune system out a little bit. What time is it? It's 12 now. I'm not going to be able to finish this today. But once I finish this leg and I take off the masking film, I think I'll just call it a day, because I have to prepare for the Patreon live stream, which is in less than 3 hours. And then I'll probably just end up finishing this. I don't know. I'll set up my camera again. I'll set up my camera again sometime and just finish recording the time lapse, and then I'll be done. Okay, Wicked Illusions. I'll have to look into that when I buy my individual pencils. I mean, when I order, I order almost exclusively through Jackson's, and I don't find their prices too bad. I find them to be acceptable, but always looking for ways to save money, so I'll check out that other place. And I usually just tack on my extra pencils with orders that I already need to make. Because I order so many art supplies, so I usually just lump it all together. And then I just get it all at once. Yeah, I may try to do a couple of the March mashups on it, but I have no idea at this point. Next month is March. That's like in a week. What do I have to do? After I finish this project, actually even before I finish this project, I'll probably end up having to do it over the weekend. I have to write an article for Colored Pencil magazine, which it's not too hard. I mean, 400 or 500 words I can write in about 20 minutes. But I have to do that and get the tutorial prepared on the dime that I colored last week for that epic long working stream, the first working stream. And then what else? I have a list on my desktop. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I have to do that probably this weekend. And then next month I wanted to make a new course. I wanted to make a new pastel course to upload on my website. So there's probably going to be a week, maybe beginning or middle of March, where I am just focused on that. Because I should be able to record it in a week and then edit it in 2 or 3 days. But those will be my priorities, and then yeah, just keeping up with Patreon and doing those live streams. But what I'll most likely end up doing is, for the drawing journals, I might just do the March mashup ideas for a couple of the drawing journals throughout the month of March. So I might end up doing 1 or 2 of them. Yeah, the article for the magazine is just one of those workshop series. It's part of the workshop series. So each month a new artist offers a written tutorial with reference photos and supply list and all of that stuff. I think this month was a cat eye. I saw a few people doing that. And mine is a coin, that dime that I drew last week. So, and just like last year, I did it last year also. I did a flower last year. I'll put a video together. That's why I did the time lapse, or that's why I did the recorded the time lapses so that I could do the tutorial. And it won't be released until the magazine issue comes out, and I actually don't know when that issue comes out. I have to email Sally. Because I actually don't know when my article is even due. I don't even know if it's due in March. It could have been due this month, and in which case I'd feel really bad. I kind of got sidetracked on it and completely forgot, and I emailed Sally, but I don't know if she missed the email or it went to spam or what. She never responded with the relevant information I needed to figure out when it was due or whatnot. So hopefully I didn't mess anything up. I imagine if it was like a day or two before the due date, she would have emailed and asked about it, but she didn't, so I think I'm in the clear for now anyway. The paper that I'm using is Clairefontaine Pastel Matte. It is the only paper I use with pastels, and I've done several tutorials that I talk about tape and how to use it for pastels. It's gotten pretty popular. Same thing with masking film. I think Chrissy, you can probably attest to the magnificence of using masking film and how great it is. I know you love it. I love it. I mean, goodness, my channel name literally comes from the concept of the fact that I love using tape and taping off my subjects. Oh goodness, my eyes are not happy. I think this headache has really started to get to me. Good thing I'm almost done here. They're gonna need a bit of a rest before I do the Patreon live stream. Man, I was really hoping to finish today. I use Frisket, so you're totally good, Mithril. Don't be afraid to use it, because once you do, you'll love it. That's exactly what I have on here. Yeah, I don't think I would ever forget to use Frisket masking film. It's because I mean once you use it, you're gonna ask yourself why did it take me so long? Because it was like one of the first things I started to like try to figure out. Because when I paint, I tape everything. I tape it all. And even when I oil paint, I do it. It's always been something that I do and I seek to do in every like possible medium. It's not really possible with colored pencils, unfortunately. It's not really possible with markers, unfortunately. But I try to do it anywhere and everywhere that I can. And when it comes to pastels, it works like a charm. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. And I wouldn't go without it. Never ever. Alright, let me see if I can't smooth this leg out a little bit. Yeah, I got quite a bit of drawing I gotta do later. I'll probably make some tea. To be honest with you, I'll probably make some tea and just go right back to work after I get off here. It's so hard for me. It's so hard for me to shut it off. It's so hard for me to shut it off. I could just work and work and work and work and work and work. But I know that I have to. I think that's the problem when you work for yourself. Aside from you guys now, you don't really have anybody that can force you to stop when you need to. My eyes are about going cross-eyed right now. but I'm not done. I need some tea. I'll feel better once I have some tea. And maybe I'll be able to find something to eat. That's actually probably why I have a headache, is that I haven't eaten anything. I got up 6 hours ago. 5 hours ago. Yeah, it's 12, so got up at 7:30. Yeah, I'm definitely an addict. I blame my dad. He he's always just worked. He's always just worked so much that it's just ingrained in my DNA to just work until my hands fall off. And my dad, he just retired like a couple years ago, and it's so nice. It's so satisfying to see my dad like not working as hard as he always did. It's so nice, and he's just raising his grandkids now, and it's just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, when your parent works as hard as my dad worked, and I know a lot of us probably have parents that GoPro start time lapse. You're ruining my vibe. Knock it off. I know most of us probably have parents that work their fingers to the bone, and it's just something you have to respect. Especially in this day and age. A little bit more purple. I'll still do probably a lot, actually, of touching up of the details on her legs and everywhere, really. But I want to get this masking film off. So, time now for a couple special shots. GoPro stop time lapse. I think I can just turn it off, actually. I'll take these shots, and that will give me the transition I need. Because this picture is actually taped to my desk because I thought I was going to finish it in a day, and I was wrong. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I can finish this tomorrow. Probably, I really shouldn't. But I might end up live streaming tomorrow too. So I can finish this. Alright. GoPro off. GoPro off. Turn off. Now you don't want to listen to me? GoPro, turn off. Alright. I'm done with the time-lapse portion for today. Yeah, this seems to be... Focus, camera. Oh, I get plenty of sleep, Art Hive. I don't think yeah, the GoPro is getting an attitude. I would say, like, as a full-time artist, time management is going to be your best friend, but there's going to be times where you just work yourself too much. Because the second you become a full-time artist, you stop being an artist. You're not an artist. You're an entrepreneur that happens to be an artist. There's a difference. Because to be successful, you have to be good at business. There's just no shortcut around it. I gotta make sure that shot was good. Looks pretty good. I gotta admit, this project looks good on camera. I wish I had more room. It's painful being boxed in here. Let's move that gross rag. All right, let's use this color, I guess. Dang it. I know I skipped. to shoot that over. I can feel my hand being jittery. Wow, her foot looks crusty. Her foot is crusty. It's okay, I can go back and fix it. I need a color. I need a color. I just want to cover up the paper completely. There, that looks good. Now I'll just shoot removing the masking film so the last piece of the puzzle comes off. Get a cool shot. That looks good. All right, let's record. Yay. Alrighty. Oh, you have no idea how much I just want to continue. I'm so bad. I'm not gonna live very long. Probably. Alright, yeah, I need to eat something. I need to prepare for Patreon live stream. I need to remove this from my table and probably work on it another time. Probably very soon, and probably much sooner than I should. Oh gosh, it looks good though. It does look good though, doesn't it? Yeah. It's always nice to create something you're proud of. Not yet proud of. I have to finish it, and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But I appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out for these working live streams. I mean, I've been streaming for a few hours at least, right? I don't even know when I started, but it's nice. You guys are good company for sure, and it's I really appreciate it. Just want you to know. I feel like this camera's falling again. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just going crazy. But yeah, I do really appreciate it, and I'm glad you guys enjoy the live streams as much as I do. I'm gonna get some tea now. I'm gonna rest a little bit. For those of you on Patreon, I'll see you in just a couple hours. Yeah. Anyways, I'll probably end up streaming tomorrow because I can't stop. So just be on the lookout for that, because I don't schedule out these working streams. I just do them, as you guys probably have noticed. and Monday will be a scheduled stream. That'll be the drawing journal, and what am I working on? Oh, I'm working on the pastel painting that you guys haven't seen yet because I started it off camera and I haven't taken progress photos of it. So yeah, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Patrons, I'll see you in a couple hours. But yeah, everyone else, I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.